Yo, what's good with it, y'all? It's your boy Lamborghini Preem back once again talking this boxing shit. As always, if you fuck with me, make sure you stop by my official site, hustlegameboss.com, and check out my all new album, It's My Turn, the Throne Ascension LP. It's a motherfucking classic, baby. It's also available on Apple Music, iTunes, Google Play, Pandora, Spotify, Tidal. Big shout out to Tidal. And literally everywhere else music is found. All you gotta do is type my name, the Supreme General, in the search engine of whatever outlet you so choose to enjoy, and I shall appear. Also, make sure you stop by my official merchandise. Well, the official merchandise area of my official site, and it's at hustlegameboss.com/shop. And it's you can cop just about anything: t-shirts, hats, phone cases, shit, a bandana for your dog, drawstring, knapsack. I got it all, baby. Anything you need, you know what I'm saying? And all as always, if you do cop something, make sure you post it, you know what I mean? Share it with me, let me know. I'll make sure I repost your shit, show you some love, man, because I like to appreciate those who appreciate me, you know. Now on to the video. This one right here is brought to you courtesy of my man Dante's Boxing Nation. Shout out to my man Dante over there. He does excellent work. If you don't know about Dante's Boxing Nation, just type it in the YouTube search engine and check out some of the videos over there. It's always top quality. He's a part of this new media movement that we got going on of dudes that's not fuckboys doing favors for credentials and all that extra shit that they get or whatever. Dante hit him with that real shit. So anyway, Abel Sanchez, trainer of Triple G, calls in today, and he speaks to Dante specifically to address some things that the Charlos, well, not the Charlos, Jamal Charlo said, because as everyone knows, he now campaigns at 160, and he's looking dangerous, man. Very, very dangerous, man. I'm real excited about his campaign at middleweight. Can't wait to see how it turns out. But he talking that shit, man. He said he want them 3 little G's after he fight whoever he fight now. I mean, I forgot who the guy he's fighting name is off the top of my head. I'll do a prediction video on it later after I research it a bit more. But right now, off the top of my head, I know Charlo is a big favorite in the fight, and it's a WBC eliminator, so that the winner of it becomes the mandatory for the WBC strap at 160, and that is beautiful, because Charlo win that match, then he's guaranteed basically a big fight. You know what I'm saying? Because right now the middleweight title, the BC middleweight title, on the line for Canelo versus Triple G in the super fight, the rematch of their super fight from earlier this year. And personally, I thought Triple G beat the shit out of Canelo the last time, and I think he gonna do it a little bit more efficiently this time. I know Canelo was nice defensively, but the real reason why I don't believe he can beat Triple G is simply because his punches don't hurt Triple G, and Triple G's punches really hurt him. That's the kind of dynamic that nullifies defensive adjustments, because regardless of your adjustment, when you get hit, when you become weary of getting hit, period, it fucks up any game plan. But that's neither here nor there. This video is about Abel Sanchez and the fuck shit he was talking on Dante's Boxing Nation today. So anyway, my man Dante poses the question to Abel Sanchez in so many words, basically asking him, will you guys, if you are successful against Canelo and Jamal Charlo, is successful in his campaign to become the mandatory, will you guys ever fight him? And Abel Sanchez had, I think, the most ridiculous answer I've heard all for the past. It's been that. That's probably the most ridiculous answer I've heard since Freddie Roach had that ridiculous answer for Manny Pacquiao not taking that steroid test. And this man said, boxing is a gentleman's sport, which I agree with, but that's neither here nor there. The man said boxing is a gentleman's sport, and that the way Charlo demanded the fight puts him off so much that he doesn't know if they're even going to fight him at all. Like, they don't really, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, I'm not quoting direct. He's basically saying that they're not going to fight him no time soon, and he'd be lucky if they fight him at all. And so Dante pressed him a little further, was like, yo, what if he becomes the WBC mandatory? And it seemed to irritate Abel Sanchez, you know what I mean? See, like, the further Dante with the questioning, with the Charlo questioning, the more irritated you could hear Abel Sanchez get. And that's just odd to me, in my opinion. Like, why would it bother him? He knows Jamal Charlo is campaigning at 160, and anybody campaigning at 160 is gunning for the top guy, which is Triple G. So what the fuck is this about? It's kind of suspect, it raised my eyebrows, at least, made me think that, Triple G may be, well, his team at least, is definitely reticent to fight Jamal Charlo, and that the fight really might not happen. I'm not really expecting it, because personally, I think, regardless of what they say, Triple G is 35 years old. I think they really got a plan for him. They're trying to cash him out now. Now, I do think he'll beat Canelo. And when he do beat Canelo, that'll be one big check for him. And then he'll fight Billy Joe Saunders, and that'll be the last fight of his career. He'll probably retire after that. And if he don't retire, he'll definitely move up in weight or something to get away from the Charlos. I do not see him fighting Jamal Charlo. And in my opinion, that's simply because it's the same reason why Keith Thurman won't fight Errol Spence. It's because these boys is they thorough. You know what I mean? They ain't no motherfucking joke. They around, they ready. You know what I mean? These is the type of fights that, when you get into them, you might not come out that motherfucker the victor. Basically in every other fight that's at middleweight, other than Danny Jacobs, it's almost a foregone conclusion that my man Triple G is gonna come out the winner. Now, I mean, I was impressed by what Billy Joe Saunders did to David Lemieux, but that doesn't mean that I think he'll do that to Triple G. In fact, I don't. I think Triple G is really, I think he's a killer, man. He cut that ring off pretty nice, man. And just the way he moves, like the things that he does in the ring, the subtle nuances to his game, those are what really, really gets to people. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. I mean, because and I think that's because his defense is a little porous. He takes too many shots, in my opinion, way too many shots. But the way that he gets to people when he lands, like the way that they respond, I give him his props, man. I give him his props. But Abel Sanchez and them, I think they know what's up, man. They know Triple G is 35 years old. That means he's not getting any faster. He's not getting any, his reflexes aren't getting any quicker. His switch muscles aren't going to react any faster than they ever have. And they know Jamal Charlo is, he like Mr. T character in that Rocky movie. He coming to kill you. And that's exactly what Abel Sanchez, if you could read between the lines, he was saying the same thing that Mickey was telling Rocky when he asked him why shouldn't he fight Mr. T. He's all wrong for you. You haven't been hungry in years. That type of shit. And personally, I think Triple G is hungry, but is he as hungry as a Jamal Charlo? Hell no. And if they did fight, I would lean towards Charlo, because Charlo is just as skilled as Triple G is, and I think he hits just as hard. And when you have that dynamic, when you have the bully fighting somebody who's who bullies other people. You know, when a bully is bullied, usually they don't respond well. And also the the thing with Triple G is, man, we've seen him, like in the Danny Jacobs fight, we've seen him be outboxed at times. We've seen a few different things happen to Triple G. We've seen him injured. You know, he's not invincible. So, I mean, though I understand where Abel Sanchez and his team is coming from, I don't like this shit. This shit is sucker shit. You know what I mean? Because personally, I mean, if you're gonna duck somebody, at least be honest about it. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna respect it either way, but be real about it. Let's be real here. You know what I'm saying? You want to get 2 big checks before y'all cash out, and that's the one thing I do hate too. I do also want to say that this narrative with black fighters especially, I don't think I've ever seen it happen to anybody else. You know, maybe Sergey Kovalev once or twice. You know, somebody probably used that excuse that he ain't bring no money to the table. But even then, it's still I didn't really see it. But the shit that, you know, Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo, you know, basically all black fighters that's really, really good, especially if they southpaw oddly, there's this narrative that they don't bring no money to the table. And that's just so ridiculous to me because, or at least in the beginning, I might have bought into that a little bit, you know, because you think like, okay, this guy don't have no name. And that's true. Of course, a certain name recognition is a big part of the game, but there's also the thing that I believe a lot of promoters and fans are overlooking when it comes to value, and that's prestige. Certain fighters who are known to be good by the boxing heads, the real boxing heads like myself and you, if you listening to this, and you know, other people, all the experts, those, like, we know who the truth is. So if a fighter with a big name was to say take on somebody who's a stiff challenge, like a real true test, you know what I mean? Like if I mean, at this point, I believe Errol Spence and Keith Thurman about equally yoked when it comes to names, just for as an example. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that Keith Thurman was this well-known super fighter, and Errol Spence was just an up-and-comer, and nobody really knew his name. The value that Spence would bring to the table is that all experts and boxing heads know that Spence is damn good and is a true threat to dethrone Keith Thurman. And that alone has value, and people overlook that. You know what I'm saying? Because people always say, you know, we as the true boxing heads, we get devalued a lot of times. People will look at us and be like, yo, well, y'all gonna be here to watch this shit anyway. You know what I mean? Y'all gonna watch whatever is out there anyway. As long as it ain't too shitty, y'all gonna watch it. And in most cases, that's true. But what they overlooking is my homeboy or whoever, you know, a friend of mine, whatever, come through the crib while I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm watching the boxing match, you know what I mean? They don't really watch fights like that. So what do? They ask me about the shit because they know I watch the shit. You know what I mean? They know I'm a real boxing head. So they ask me, be like, yo, what's up with this guy? Who is this guy? Like, it used to happen all the time. Every time Floyd fought somebody that wasn't a big name, like when he fought Maidana the first time, you know what I mean? The fact that I let it be known that this was a true threat to Floyd made the people who came through to see this shit with me, personally, made them more interested in the fight. You know what I mean? And more apt to check out maybe the next fight. Or, you know, maybe, you know, if it was a good fight, you know, they're going to watch another boxing match. Whenever boxing on TV, they might just, you know, stop flipping through the channels and actually check it out. You know, and become a boxing head. People overlook the value in that type of shit. You know, the promoters, the fans, a lot of people overlook that shit. And that's what black fighters bring to the table. That stiff competition, the prestige, and people just be like, okay, it's not worth it because, you know, you can make money fighting some guy who has zero prestige and it's just a showcase fight. But I mean, maybe you can do that once or twice, but that shit is not gonna last, you know. After a while, motherfuckers gonna stop supporting your shit. You're gonna get less and less viewers, fucking around doing shit like that, trying to coast. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, boxing, though it is prize fighting and though it is entertainment, this motherfucking shit is a sport too. We want to see who's the best. You know, that's the whole point of all this shit. That's what the best is supposed to get the biggest paydays. The best is supposed to have the belts. The best is supposed to, get all of the things, all of the wonderful things that come with being, the motherfucking best. And it's just it's annoying, you know what I mean? Because I see guys get overlooked time and time again when they deserve their shot. They don't get their shot because people say they don't bring nothing to the table. Like, for instance, check out Jermell Charlo versus Erickson Lubin. You know what I mean? To the casual fan, like, okay, to the rabid boxing fan, we was, salivating over that. We knew that was going to be a great fight. You know what I mean? Now, if a casual fan just happened to be watching it and they tweet me or they text me or they over in my crib, you know what I'm saying? So we kicking it about this shit, you know what I mean? We just sipping around, you know what I mean? Smoking, you know what I mean? Smoking, drink or whatever, you know what I mean? You know, whatever get done. You know what I mean? We watching the motherfucking fight. They're gonna ask me, you know what I mean, who's this guy, who's that guy. Now once they get past that point, they'll be like, go off my word and my recommendation as to, checking these people out further. You know what I mean? If they watching the shit with me, you know what I mean, and then this dude have a good fight, this motherfucker might pull out his phone and check his YouTube videos. You know what I mean? Check out, see some of this guy other fights. Want to see some of his other performances. You know what I mean? Because people love to be the first that's up on shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's just in any area of life, man. People like to be up on shit first. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's just it's a good thing. That's one of those things that is the lifeblood of the sport. It really keeps it going. It never gets acknowledgement because people just want to pass off the narrative that black fighters can't bring in no revenue, and that's just not the case, man. That's not the case. If the person who's at the top of the food chain, who's getting the money, who has the popularity, they can create other stars. You know what I mean? That's basically what Floyd Mayweather did. With everybody he fought, he basically created a star. We know the names of his opponents. We know the name of Victor Ortiz. We know the name of Marcos Maidana. You know what I mean? Maidana is like a legend in Argentina especially, but the man is well known. You know what I mean? He was not well known before that fight, before the Broner fight, because I got to give Broner some props on that too, because he became insanely popular after that, and then once he became a Floyd opponent, it just stamped him. But that's the kind of shit I like to see, you know what I mean? Oscar De La Hoya did the same thing. Him fighting Shane Mosley, he fought the best. Now, the one thing about Oscar, he may be a pantyhose wearing motherfucker, but the man did fight the best during his career. He might have always made sure he had some extra advantages and, pull a little fuckery here and there, but especially with the Sweet Pea win, that was not a win, man. Sweet Pea whooped your ass, dog. But anyway, I'm getting off for a tangent, man. I'm sorry about that. And back to this Abel Sanchez shit. My thing with Abel Sanchez is this, man. If you're gonna duck Charlo, keep it real and tell us you trying to cash out Triple G. Tell him, listen, we know this guy is a great fighter. Give him his respect. Give him his just due. We know this man is a great fighter. We know he's hungry. We know he's up and coming. But right now, he's not the mandatory. Number one. Number two, you got a super fight about to happen in May. And number three, after that, your dream is to unify the belts. And the only thing that would take precedence over a mandatory is a unification. So with that in mind, and then after that, Triple G is basically going to ride off into the sunset. Either going to have one more fight at like 168 or something, or he's going to just retire with two big windfall paydays. And In my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. It's the same shit Sergio Martinez did to Triple G. But don't sit here and patronize us and tell us that it's because boxing is a gentleman's sport and you didn't like the way this guy fucking called you out, man. That's an insult to our intelligence, and that's the kind of shit that make people not want to support Triple G. You know what I mean? That's what that is, you know. So all the way around, my man Abel Sanchez just need to move a little better out here, cause this shit right here is just, it's fucking ugly, man. My man Abel Sanchez, man, out here trying to play niggas, talk about this is a gentleman's sport. It is a gentleman's sport, that I agree with. But if you the baddest motherfucker at your division, you the champion, and then you got another guy who's about to become your mandatory talking shit. I personally, if I was in Triple G position, would love or relish the opportunity to give him a shot and beat his ass, if that's what it is, you know. But it's because you know he's a threat, and you know that you have a lot to lose timing wise if you happen to beat a guy like Canelo and then go lose to a Jamal Charlo. You know that you gotta retire after that, you know. And you know, Billy Joe Saunders is just an easier opponent, and you can use the excuse that you're unifying. So like I said, man, I'm not even tight about it. I ain't tripping. Jamal gonna get his shot, you know, one way or another. Like he said, you're gonna become the mandatory, and they're gonna enforce the motherfucking shit same way Sergio Martinez. Same shit would that happen with him. If you don't fight him, you'll get stripped. You know what I mean? And he'll have to fight somebody for the vacant belt. It would be sad, but you know, because that's not how, you know, a person of Triple G's ilk, you know, that's not how they supposed to be going out here. But you never know, man. So, you know, that's my thoughts on the shit, man. If you're gonna cash out, but don't sit here and insult our intelligence. Alright, y'all. Fuck with y'all. Y'all know how I give it up. I appreciate y'all, man. Holla at me. I'm on to the next one.